Been making a little bit of money freelancing. I did the brakes on a '09 Altima. It came out of Connecticut. It's still a new car to me, but it was rusty. So I'm really glad I live in a dry climate because, oh my goodness. Shortly after complaining how I hate carburetors, I went out and did something I probably shouldn't have. I bought another one. This is the 3236. It's been on Arthur for a while. It's a progressive carburetor, so it says that the little butterfly opens and then the second one opens later, which is great. You know, this is about half throttle and that's usually where I am, but it's so slow. This is a 3838, so it's bigger in both barrels. If you think about it, a SU carb, you know, you've got two, maybe 36 millimeter, I don't know how big the bores are on those, that are always working in synchronization. So this one is a synchronized carburetor. They both open at the same time. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Until I get my fuel injection parts, that's the one I'll be using. So we'll stick it on, we'll find out how it works, and if it needs a major adjustment. It should be jetted properly. It was on a 1.6 liter Volkswagen. And to think, if I didn't drive Arthur that day, I never would have talked to the guy about old carburetors. New carburetor is installed. I had to only use that side of the gas line, so I've got the hose going up and around like that. I'll fix it eventually. You know how temporary lasts a long time? Okay. I have to bend the heat shield out of the way just a little bit to get that throttle plate not to bind on the side. I also managed to get full travel through the gas pedal on the throttle there, which is good. The choke looks to be mostly aligned to where I like it. And there's some mixture screws on the sides here. I think that's the idle mixture. I'm gonna have to tinker with both sides and synchronize it. That'll be fun. So because this 38 DGES carburetor has two idle mixture screws, there's one here and then on the opposite end, you know, back down in there. You've got to turn them out, I'd say 1.5 turns. Turn the car on, see how it is. You want it to be between 1/2 and 2 turns out. That'll be perfectly synchronized. Somewhere in there. Just like any other carburetor, when you're adjusting that, turn it out until it's stumbling and then turn it back in until it starts to stumble and then kind of find the sweet spot. So I'm at 1.5 turns out. Gonna fill up my fuel bowl, start the car, see where I idle, make sure my choke's adjusted, and then start adjusting those idle mixture screws. I think the throttle screw is like a 1/2 turn out once it makes contact with the throttle plate. The wonderful gentleman who sold me this carburetor, we're going over to his place. We're gonna get the new jets because I think it's a little too rich, as you can see there. But I just cannot get over how I am barely on the throttle and it just goes. I mean, it's not a rocket ship, but it's a go-kart, you know? I'm at like 5% throttle maybe and it'll cruise right there. Whereas with Arthur, it was right around halfway, maybe 1/3 of the way with that old carburetor. So a lot more power out of this 38 DGES Weber. I'm very happy. It's got great off-the-line response. And I ordered a new button for this so that I hopefully will fit it in a couple of days when it arrives. And then I can have a mostly good steering wheel. I still can't get it on straight. It's such a pain in the butt to get the wheel on with those splines. I must have misaligned it because there's two bolt patterns. There's the Nardi and then there's the regular, I think, Momo 6 bolt, which is 4 millimeters smaller. So anyways, it's just, I don't care right now. I'm enjoying the carburetor too much. Yeah, it definitely bogs down a bit. It's good around cruise. It's, you know, sitting at 13 on the AFRs, but oh, big speed bump. So here I've got a bag of jets for the carburetor. There are various sizes here, including the whatever you call it, the guy that spritz fuel down the Venturis. I'm gonna take these to my carburetor shop because I'm no carb expert, and they're gonna put them in for me. They're gonna tune it, make sure everything's good and ready to go. I might replace a few things like the float, needle, valve, seat, all that, and the accelerator pump. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm gonna leave those be until I get a problem. So I'm gonna buy a rebuild kit. And let me just conclude by saying, yes, you might experience a little less fuel economy because of the lead-footed habits that you may have developed, like I certainly have, because I'm just loving this. But this carburetor is honestly the best upgrade that I could have done. You know, that 3236 is just not gonna cut it for me. So, the 38 Weber, 238s, synchronize them, and you're good to go. You're gonna love it. Now, if you have a 3236, you don't want to spend the money on a 38, you can't get one for a great price around you, it's in good shape, get a synchro kit. So it basically synchronizes the primary and secondary butterflies to give you a lot better drivability. You've got two butterflies working for you instead of one and then another.